Texas Rattlesnake, the badass that changed WWE forever. Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of my favorite wrestlers back in the late 90s, and I am happy to be reviewing him today. Stone Cold Steve Austin is the second figure for the WWE line by SH Figuarts and features 3D capture technology to get the most accurate face in detail. The last WWE figure I reviewed, The Rock, was a figure that was a little lukewarm for me. So, the question is, will this figure feature a what? Turn down for what? Moment? Let's find out in this toy review of SH Figuarts WWE Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us once again on the D-Star01 channel. I'm your host Dexter Arafiles, and today we'll be looking at a WWE superstar by SH Figuarts, and it's no other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. After I reviewed The Rock, I knew that I had to get Stone Cold Steve Austin in order to see if the problems such as improper shading are apparent. So now that I have him in hand, let's look at him and let's see if he's worth your money.
Right off the bat, I have to say, that face looks just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this feature truly makes this figure a premium toy. The shading on his face, the goatee, the eyes, everything about him says badass. When I picked up this figure, I was hoping that he didn't have the same shading problems that The Rock had, such as his lack of shading. But when it comes to Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm pretty happy to say that he doesn't have those problems, as we can see here. His legs, his muscles, his body all have the proper shading, so you don't have to get a pale white figure, and I definitely like Stone Cold better than The Rock in terms of paint and detail. The butterfly shoulder joints that were on The Rock looked ugly in my opinion, but on Stone Cold they don't look as bad, and I think the reason for this is his body type is a little bit thicker and wider. Therefore, it looks better and more coherent. Not to mention, the vest covers those joints, so it looks awesome when he wears the vest and poses really well with it. Looking at his boots, leg braces, and tights show that they are a plain flat black. And honestly, I don't have a problem with these, as Stone Cold wore a very simple outfit. So let's talk about this vest. As it says on the back, 100% whoop ass. And I have to thank SH Figuarts for not censoring that. If there's anything bad I have to say about his paint and detail, it has to be his Texas tattoo that's on his leg. Honestly, it could be better and more detailed and looks kind of dull. Besides that, I'm digging the features of this figure, and Figuarts did a much better job than The Rock.
So here we are with Stone Cold Steve Austin from SH Figuarts, and we're going to talk about articulation and scale. So let's get his height out of the way. We are looking at, I would have to say maybe a little bit above 5.5 inches, not quite reaching the 6 inches there. And then to compare and scale, we have a SH Figuarts Bruce Lee, and the reason why I wanted to bring Bruce Lee up is because both of them are based off real people, not fictional people. And I know Stone Cold is 6'1" and Bruce Lee is 5'7". So if you look closely, if you look how they stand, that's pretty close. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate looking at a 5'7" man and a 6'1" man, but I'd have to say that's pretty darn close. And SH Figuarts did a really good job in scaling the realistic humans down to size. So yeah, that's how they scale together. And of course we got to look at the Marvel Legends. Deadpool is the first Deadpool, and again, scaling decently well, and the scale on the SH Figuarts are known to be smaller. So now that we got scale out of the way, let's talk about articulation. We have a bend at the toe here. We have an up and down movement and a swivel here for his foot, so a lot of range of motion on the feet here. So you can pose him really well, and he balances really well. Also, we have the leg brace, which doubles as also a joint, I guess, because I really like what they did here, because this is jointed, and that means it goes well with his double jointed knee here. So there you have it, bend at the knee, as well as the bend here at his brace. we have a articulated ball joint here at the upper leg, and we have 2 joints here, 1, 2 in the midsection for, ooh, look at that. It does come apart, but it goes together, back together really easy, as you can see. And we have 2 joints there, as I was talking about. We have a butterfly joint at the shoulders, just like the Rock. We have bend at the elbow, double jointed there, and a ball jointed wrist, and 2 joints here at the neck. So he's very, very posable. I really like what they've done with this figure. Of course, it's pretty standard for SH Figuarts because you get what you pay for. So there you have it, articulation and scale for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Three extra heads, 2 open beer cans, and 4 extra hands is what you get with this figure. The heads feature a slightly smiling face, an action face, and his signature "I'm about to stone cold stunner you" face, which is my favorite face out of the 4. Again, all of them are well detailed and look fantastic. I'm really digging these beer cans, and while they don't feature a beer label of any sort, I think we will know what they are. And speaking of the beer cans, they can be held by his hands due to this peg, so it's easy for him to hold. Also, I would like to note that the spilling beer can be removed and is a wonderful feature, so you can pose him drinking beer or not. Or maybe even smashing it on the Rock's head. Looking at his hands, you only get 4 extra hands, but honestly, I don't have a problem with the lack of hands. My favorite hands are the ones that hold the beers, because you can bring up the middle finger like so for his signature disrespect before he stunners you. One more thing I'd like to note about his hands is that they're all jointed except for his closed fist hands. I'm really digging this figure. He looks great with his accessories, he's fun to pose, and he looks fantastic overall. If you are planning to get this figure, you will not be disappointed if you do.
So let's break down this figure and let's start off with the negatives, which are not that many to be honest. The biggest negative that I have is the tattoo on his leg. I know SH Figuarts can do a good job when it comes to their paint and detail, which is why this is somewhat disappointing as it's just sloppily put on his leg. The other negative is, which is honestly not so big and is quite small, is that his shoulder joints, once again, look quite awkward. But no, this is a very small gripe. So let's talk about his positives. Obviously, he looks just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's thanks to the 3D printing technology that SH Figuarts uses. Also, I have to say, I love the shading on this figure. They could have just made him completely pale, but they didn't. They gave him excellent shading, and he looks like a fantastic figure, especially when compared to The Rock. So therefore, I have to give this figure a pretty solid 9 out of 10 D-stars. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.
Hey you! Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Where? Right here. Not there, right here. You. And thanks for watching. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Right here, right there, right here. Yeah.